Let's bring in Trevor Potter now, founder of the Campaign Legal Center and a Republican former chairman of the Federal Election Commission, to talk about this a bit more. Trevor, good to see you. You actually published an opinion piece yesterday calling for the Senate to pass this legislation. Let's just talk about your main arguments here.
Well, good morning, Kira. It's really unfortunate that this has become a partisan deadlock, because this is a piece of legislation that has had Republican support in the past. The 16 Republican senators currently in the Senate voted for the Voting Rights Act when it came up last time in the Senate. What's happening here is a question about, first, whether the Senate is going to be able to continue debate on this, and secondly, whether a majority of the Senate, which would be 50 Democratic senators who favor this bill and the vice president to break the tie, whether that majority will have a chance to vote in favor of this bill and have it pass. It's an important bill because it would establish national standards for access to voting, for the freedom to vote. It would make it possible for people across the country, regardless of what state they're in, to be able to get absentee ballots, to have people send them applications for mail-in ballots, to have standard times for early voting, enough locations for early voting. One of the things we learned in the pandemic last year is that many people would vote if it were more convenient, if it wasn't during their work hours, if they could drop a ballot off on their way home, if they could drive to a polling place and stay in their car and vote through the window. And those are the sorts of things that a number of states have cut back on since last year's election. And this bill would say, no, you have to have national minimum standards for access to voting.
So it's still, though, the likelihood of this passing is slim to none. So what do you think, Trevor? Is this continuing on because Democrats just want to keep this debate alive, keep the conversation alive? I mean, why keep pushing and even trying to force this vote in the Senate when they know they just don't have the votes to take it?
Well, again, they have the votes if they could get to a vote on the floor. What's happening here is this Senate procedure called a filibuster, where it takes at least 60 senators to keep debating, which is pretty ironic because the point of the filibuster is supposed to be to ensure that there is continuing debate and that senators don't get cut off. But it's been turned around in the Senate to say you have to have 60 votes to continue the debate. And I think what we're going to see here is an attempt by Senator Schumer to see if there's a compromise on the filibuster rule. Would it be possible to change it to require continuing debate with enough senators on the floor to talk about this? Because what we seem to be seeing is that Republicans, even those who behind the scenes support aspects of this bill or have supported it in the past, do not want to talk about it on the floor. Because it's popular. Every poll has shown that the aspects of this are favored by a majority of the American people. So one of the things that may happen if this fails today is that the leadership will break this up into smaller bills and keep coming back to try to get senators to debate it and to justify not voting to let this go forward to a majority vote in the Senate.
And, of course, you mentioned the filibuster. Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema still not budging. So what's your message to them?
I think the message is that the point of the filibuster is to have continued debate. And so if Senator Schumer proposes not doing away with the filibuster, but a alteration of it to require the Senate to actually debate the issues before it on the floor, they ought to think hard about that, because it doesn't diminish the minority's rights to prevent legislation going forward with a majority vote, but it would require the minority to talk about the issue and explain why they don't favor whatever measure they're blocking. That's how filibusters used to work, and it changed at some point really for efficiency reasons so the Senate could go on to other business. And so Schumer is talking about taking it back to the way it used to be, so that Americans can at least hear the debate about these important voting rights and election issues. And Republicans, if they don't want to vote for it, will have to explain why.
Well, we hear it. We're listening. We're going to, of course, follow it all throughout the day. Take it live once the debate continues. Campaign Legal Center founder Trevor Potter. Trevor, thanks so much. Really appreciate your insight this morning.
Thanks, Kira.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.